Are you telling me you can read people's minds?
I can try. Our brains obviously have certain blind spots. And as magicians and mentalists, the only thing we exploit is these blind spots.
As in mentalists, if they have the power to be able to see somebody's emotion, they would be able to alter it also, I'm assuming.
I had a woman forget her name.
What?
52 cards, 52 possibilities, but you picked the Queen of Hearts, and this is the Queen of Hearts.
Something's happening in my stomach right now.
Close your eyes and imagine what would look like had it been perfectly solved.
Oh my god, I'm so stupid. It was so obvious. Has a magic trick ever failed in front of like people? Hi Chirag, show us something interesting.
Alright, so we're going to begin with this matchbox. Please hold out your hand like that.
Okay.
We begin by burning the place down. I'm kidding. We're not going to do that. So we'll do this. We're going to burn an entire deck of cards, Aleena. And all of this is going to take place in your mind. So a deck of cards has numbers and pictures. Question number 1 to you. Do you want to burn the numbers or do you want to burn the pictures? Whatever you say is what we burn.
Numbers.
No more aces, 2s, 3s, 4s. They're all gone. We just have the picture cards left. In the picture cards, there are 3 kinds of pictures. There's Jack, Queen, and King. Broadly speaking, there's 2. So men and women. Ridiculous question. Do you want to burn the men or do you want to burn the women?
Burn the man.
Okay, cool. We'll burn the men. You're sick. Thank you very much.
Okay.
The men are gone. No more jacks, no more kings. We have 4 cards left. The Queen of Clubs, Hearts, Spades, and Diamonds. You get to reach into the flames and save only one. Which one do you save? Which one do you save?
The hearts.
Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
You sure? You want to change your mind?
No.
Please?
Please?
No, I'm kidding. Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
Let's see the matchbox. You see inside this matchbox, I don't know if you can see this, but there is a playing card. There's a playing card that's been burnt up, held together by this paperclip. Now, it could have been anyone, but you picked the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
If you get that clip away. 52 cards, 52 possibilities, but you picked the Queen of Hearts, and this is the Queen of Hearts.
Oh my god.
Well done.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, that brings us to another very fun and very interesting episode of Aleena Dissects. My name is Aleena and I have with me today mentalist Chirag Jethwaney. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I have to tell everybody how I met you. It was at the Leap Club event and I saw you doing some tricks. I actually came late and then you said that, no problem, I'll do something for you. And when you did your trick, I was like, the first question I had is, I've always wanted to talk to a mentalist. So will you please come to my podcast? I think that's how I started.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in magic. You know, my favorite movies, like I was telling you the other day, are movies that are based on magic. In fact, The Prestige is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
But I did have to watch it a few times.
Yeah.
I was young and I didn't understand a lot of it. I had to go back to it.
Yeah.
That's what Christopher does.
Yeah, that's what he does.
So thank you so much, first of all,
you.
for being here. We're going to actually divide this episode into performance and questions. I do have a lot of interesting questions to ask you. Okay. But I'm going to begin with, I want to understand how many years of practice does it even take to become a mentalist, and like what did you do in your preparation?
So I can't speak to the general sense, but I would say for me it's taken me about 9 years to do what I do right now. I guess you could still learn and come up with things and understand how mentalism works, study the books and all of that, and then end up doing it. But for me personally, it's taken me 9 years.
Okay.
I started through reading books. Books about magic first, understanding how tricks are done, understanding how sleight of hand works, and then you progress into psychological magic, which is mentalism.
Okay.
So that's like looking at somebody and trying to suss out and see what they're feeling and then getting to the thought. So that's the distinction between them as such. But yeah, it just mainly began through books. And I think the longer I spend in it, the more I realize the better I am getting at certain aspects of it. So I think that's still growing. But primarily it's just the whole thing that we hear, right? About 10,000 hours or just spending more than that on a certain thing that people don't think that you would spend that much time doing. And then eventually it turns out into something that's, I guess, worth showing people.
Right. So you're talking about, for example, it being a skill that is refined and you have practice, obviously.
Yeah.
But do you think it comes naturally? Does it, people that are mentalists, does it come naturally to them? Or can anybody just practice and be able to do it?
Wow, that's nuanced. My answer is going to be nuanced. So there's 2 parts to it. One, you have to have a certain knack for it.
Yeah.
That could be as a performer, as a person who likes psychology, or as a person who enjoys doing magic tricks, who just has a flair of being in front of people and making sure people have a good time. That's
Right.
one part to it. The second part to it is you can learn it. Everything is
Anybody can
learnable.
learn it.
It's not
Okay.
something inborn.
Okay.
The only thing inborn is really the knack for performing.
Right.
And then the rest of it just adds on to it. So you can learn it.
Right.
And it's not easy because there's a lot of trial and error, a lot of A/B testing, a lot of failing, getting it right, getting it wrong. But then you have to be okay with that being seen performing in front of people.
Yeah, because I would assume that you can maybe like have the skill of doing magic, but then I think it's a different art form to be able to be a good orator, be a good performer, be confident, be able to face so many people, right?
Yeah, that's true. In many ways, that's true. But then those are also things that you can build as you go.
Right.
As a product or as a person or as a artist, you don't have to be like, that's not how I was before.
Okay.
I think those are skills that I built over time.
Okay.
I was pretty okay, to be honest.
Okay.
And I still think I'm pretty okay. But you spend enough time doing it, and then you just realize that each one of those things with every performance keeps climbing and getting better and better and better. So that's how you build all those other skills.
Okay.
But they are so important to refining and making sure that you mount the whole skill of mentalism and magic in that way.
But there's no place specifically for anybody to learn this skill, right?
Hogwarts is pretty good.
Otherwise, you have to learn from books and other people. YouTube.
Gryffindor. I'm kidding. Yeah, so it's mainly books. And there's also people who perform and teach.
Okay.
My influences in magic generally come from the West, because there's people who, I'll take a few names like Joshua J, like Max Maven, Doug McKenzie. These are great performers, and they put out their lecture notes. So they put out books as well. They publish books on magic solely for the art form to thrive and get to people.
Right.
Magic has a lot of barriers to entry because the art form thrives on secrecy. So once you're interested in doing it, then you have to show interest by actually going and buying a book, reading through it, and then you go down the rabbit hole. There's going to be another source cited over there or a performance video linked somewhere. And then once you get an idea and a sizable magic library, that's when you can actually build on that skill and, start creating things of your own that people perhaps have not come up with before, but you've added something to the whole world of illusion in your own way.
That brings me to a question where I wanted to understand what is the difference between like magic and when you talk about mentalism.
So mentalism is the art of reading minds. And I say art very mindfully because a lot of people think it's got a lot to do with only psychology or only science. Those things are important, but at the end of the day, the commonality is the art form. What's different is that mentalism happens on a more psychological level. So it's me trying to read your mind. Magic happens on a more physical level where I put an object in your hand, a deck of cards, and it turns into a piece of glass. So that's magic. It's more tactile, touch and feel, and it really bends physical reality. Mentalism is just altering. It's magic for the mind, in other words.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So are you telling me you can read people's minds?
I can try.
Even if you're not performing?
I would say I'm. You know what? Let's try this. I'm not right now in the performance zone, but we have a few of your teammates over here. Can we try something? What's your name?
Antariksh.
Antariksh, can you think about an emotion? Okay. Do you have an emotion in mind?
Yes, I do. Mine is...
Don't tell me.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what was your name? Ria. Do you have an emotion as well?
Yeah.
Yeah? Now, see, if you notice, Ria, I'm not performing right now.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. I'll tell you the answer to that question. The proof of the pudding lies in the eating. So right now, I would say that I can't read minds in that way, but I can try to see what people feel right now. If you look at Antariksh right now, his hand's on the table, his other hand is down, he's probably resting. I think your emotion is more like a positive emotion, because that's what I see in you right now. You, on the other hand, arms crossed. You're not being put on the spots. None of these cameras are facing you at this point. I think your emotion can be worded as a negative emotion. I don't think emotions are inherently positive or negative. I think they all are accepted, but I've got a feeling that yours is not a quote unquote positively categorized emotion. So think of it. Don't say it. Think of it. Can you think of a person you relate to this emotion? No, there's nobody in mind. There's an event perhaps being seen. Are you feeling anxiety right now? Yeah? Okay. And think of yours. Don't say it. This is, again, he's changed his posture. He's gone like this. And now he's relaxed back there. Think of it. Don't say it. Now I'm going to say a few things. There's definitely confidence right now, but it's not confidence. There's joy. You wouldn't be joyful like this. I'm going to go with an emotion that's rooted in presence, an emotion that's rooted in comfort. And I think where you find that is trust.
Wow. Trust is right.
Yeah? Trust it is.
Oh my
Awesome.
God.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, the answer is yes or no, but I think the more you do this and the more you are around people, I think you feel what people feel around you more often than not. And I think it's a great skill because it helps you be mindful of people's emotions in the rightest sense rather than, trying to make it a game about constantly reading people's minds.
I was just going to ask you, but like, if you have this skill and this, I feel like it also just is like this emotion from inside that you're getting. Don't you think you can also use it negatively to sway somebody's emotion to be more profitable for you in whatever sense?
I've been trying to win the lottery for a long time now, so that'll happen someday. But no, I don't.
No, people, as in mentalists, if they have the power to be able to see somebody's emotion,
Sure.
They would be able to alter it also, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but they have to be really darkly motivated. I don't think my motivations
Okay.
lie in those things. I think I just want to make sure people have a really fun time,
Yeah.
enjoy it, and blow their minds.
Okay.
And then some. And at the end of it, I think that's the whole idea of the art, right? You use it well. It's a gift.
Yeah.
And the gift keeps giving.
Okay, but
So, yeah.
while you're performing and this is work is okay. But in your personal life, won't it be a hindrance because everybody around you will be like, he knows what I'm thinking. I can't think like
Yeah,
about these
I
things.
have a really hard time making friends because everybody is just like their guards up like that. But no, I think the people who are closest to me know that it's an art I practice rather than a way I live 24/7. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a lifestyle for me. So I learn about it. I'm constantly reading about magic and mentalism, and I'm always on the lookout for trying different things.
Right.
So the only way it really affects me is being obsessively wanting to come up with create things.
Okay.
And I get my inspiration from pretty much everywhere. But I will say that the beginning, say 3 or 4 years of me doing this was hard because may not appear so, but I'm an introvert. And a big part of me being myself actually comes when I'm in my own sanctuary, my own space. I like that.
Okay.
And constantly when you're out there around people at all times, you do get a little sensitive to people's emotions to a point where it can kick your brain into overdrive where you're just like,
you can overthink.
yeah, you can you get a little, you can be a little extra wary and overthink about what people are thinking. And yeah, that
For
happened
example,
to me
for
too.
me, it's just better for me to be out there and with
Out there.
people because I'm an extrovert.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for you, it must be contradictory.
No, I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I mean, I'm a learned extrovert, so I have that balance. But I actually enjoy it right now
Yeah.
because it's both of them complement each
Balance.
other. It's like the yin and the yang, right?
Yeah,
In a way,
it's a balance.
like even though you're an extrovert, you'd want time by yourself to
True.
function at your best.
True.
So I think it's a little bit of both.
I studied psychology in college, and that taught me a lot, obviously, about like human behavior and like child behavior
Yeah.
and all of that. And so we did a lot of studies on that. So I understand like the basics of where you get from like the
Yeah.
emotional side of
Yeah.
it. But does being a mentalist or being in this field, does it require some kind of understanding of psychology or the study of psychology?
Yeah,
It does.
it can help in many ways. Like I'm glad that you have formal and I wish I had that when I began.
Okay.
But I think I've informally educated myself when it comes to psychology over a period of time.
Okay.
And I think that has lent well to me actually trying and making my effects a little more plausible or to just add some sort of connection to people's normal way of thinking, because at the end of the day, if you are creating psychological illusions, psychological tricks.
Yes.
It obviously helps if you understand how human behavior works, how people are motivated, what they like, what they dislike, what kind of stories do people carry. And if you really tear it down, I think all of us, in maybe not all the same ways, but everybody has a certain template. Everybody has embarrassing stories. Everybody has moments that really make them happy and states of minds that actually lead them to that. So I think we just try and be aware of those things and then read as much as you can and then apply yourself to the best.
Okay, but that brings me to a question that I've had for magicians and mentalists for like the longest time. Is that, do you think that it is ethical?
I think if your only promise to people is, hey, come watch my show, be blown away, have a few laughs, and I'm going to gift you a sense of wonder, I don't think that falls under it being ethical or unethical. It's just a willing suspension of disbelief for people.
Because I've just read that it is manipulation of the mind also, because you're actually doing something, say showing something else.
Yes.
Right?
So magic has a lot of things like misdirection, getting people to look somewhere, for example, while the whole thing is happening somewhere else. And mentalism has things where... So if I were to break this down to the entire science of it, I would just say that our brains obviously have certain blind spots. And as magicians and mentalists, the only thing we exploit is these blind spots to give you that sense of awe.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, everything becomes, pretty expected.
Okay.
So I think the most common emotion is surprise. And surprise in magic and in mentalism, in magic more so, comes through deception.
Yes.
And deception is, in most cases, seen as a negative word. But I think when we as magicians use it, I think it's always positive, because we try to not alter your reality to make you act or behave a certain way, but just so that you walk away with the sense of, how did that happen?
Wow.
Yeah. How did that happen?
Right.
So that's the key thing. I wouldn't use it for anything else. I think for me, it's just like, I want to see, and that's the one thing I love about magic is through your ability to do a few tricks with a deck of cards, you can get people to completely bawl their eyes out and keep reacting and emoting. And these are things that people don't experience on a daily basis. So that's my thing.
It's an interesting way of putting it.
I think one could use the skills and effects that you learn in magic unethically also. But yeah, I don't think that that's something that a lot of people consciously do in the art.
Okay.
I think it comes down to a very personal choice on a personal level after that.
I understand.
But yeah.
Because we've also heard so much about black magic, and then people say that there is a correlation between doing black magic and doing mentalism and doing magic.
Do you believe in black magic?
There are things that people do that are like, but I don't understand the complexities of it because I don't get into it.
That's true. Anything you pay attention to will grow.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to all this.
Yeah, I think it's best to leave those things. I do white magic, not being racist, but yeah.
Okay, understood. I want to now understand the difference between, say, mentalism magic and then hypnosis, and if you have ever done it.
I did try it once.
Okay, did it work?
Yes, it worked. I'll tell you what I did, and it's going to sound like too preachy right now, but well, it's what happened. So I had a woman forget her name. And I tried it out. I tried it out and it worked. And then...
For how long did she forget her name?
About a minute and 30 seconds.
So when you asked her, what did she say? I don't know my name.
So it was her husband over here, and it was me, and I performed something, and then I moved into hypnosis. I said, let me try it out. And then she forgot her name. And then the husband asked her, and then she couldn't remember it.
What?
Yeah.
So if I don't know how to solve a Rubik's Cube, you can teach me that?
I can hypnotize you and teach you that.
And then when I come back into my senses, then I won't remember it?
No. So here we go. We have a Rubik's Cube. And there are many solutions to this.
Yes.
This is a own unique solution. This is a unique one. But there's only one solution that's generally respected and considered solved. Right? The one way I try and solve it is I try to ask people questions. The other way I know how to do is to make conversation with people. For example, think of a drink. You have a drink in mind? Yeah. Like an alcoholic drink? You already have one? Imagine like saying it. Imagine like saying it over and over again, like beer, 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 beer. Is that it? Yeah. And the next thing you know, when you look back at it, it's solved.
Oh,
so you know,
it's
that's how something like this would work. So we'll try this. I'm gonna mix it right now, and in fact, you know, why don't you do this for me right now? You want to mix this up?
Okay.
Will that be cool?
Okay.
Okay. Watch. If you just leave it over there and just give it a bit of a shake, you can see some colors start to disappear, and maybe the yellows come to the bottom. You see that? I don't know if you can see that. Well, that's just the yellows. That doesn't account for the reds over there. And if you've seen the yellows and the reds, then it would probably not even account for the cube, which would completely look like this. So we'll try this. I want you to do this right now. This is happening inches away from you. So go ahead, take it in your hands, hold it, and mix it up as much as you like. Now, as she does this, I'm going to do some trivia so you know how this works and what this looks like. There are 43 quintillion combinations to go ahead and put a Rubik's Cube in. That's like 43 with 43 zeros after it. That's like more stars than you can see in your visible view of the universe. More grains than grains of sand on the earth. And what Aleena is doing right now is she's putting that cube, probably for the first time in its existence, into that order. Would you agree that that's pretty random what you're doing right now? You're shuffling this cube, you're making it unique, and it's probably never been like this. Give it a few more twists, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. Are you happy with that? You look satisfied with that. So I'm going to ask you to just hold out your hand and just put it on your hand like that. Just don't drop it. Perfect. So that's the first time, maybe, like I said, in the history of this cube's universe that it's ever been like that.
Okay.
And I think of it as a bit of philosophy over here. I insert a little bit of spirituality into my work as well. I think we're all cut from the same cloth at some level. That leaves me with an interesting problem to solve. There's no way I would have known that you're going to put this cube in this order.
No, I wouldn't.
But here's the one thing I knew. I knew I was going to meet you today. I knew that you were going to put this cube in this exact order. The reason I knew that is because before we came, I brought myself another cube as well.
What?
And now this one's been here and that one's been in your hands. I want you to see this. Look, I don't know if you can see. No, not maybe not this side, but if you can see and if you can look close at this one, you can see that these sides match exactly. Which one is this camera?
Yeah.
Can we let's just do it for this camera then. So that's the second side over there. That's side number 3 over there. That's the third side. We didn't stop there. In fact, that's the fourth side. That's the fifth one. And that's the sixth one. And that's how we get 2 cubes to match side for side.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well done.
Well done to you.
Well done to you. I had nothing to do in this, but...
What?
But yeah, but wait, hold on, look. There are still, like I told you, there's only one respected solution to a cube. And that's the one in which it looks perfect. Now, this is nowhere close to perfect. But can you just close your eyes and imagine what it would look like had it been perfectly solved? Now open your eyes.
Oh, no way.
And that's what it looks like. Thank you so much.
Wow, Chirag, this is so cool.
That's a gift for you.
This is so fun. I'm going to learn some tricks from you.
Yes, we'll teach you some. My birds are over there, so I'll just bring them.
This is so cool. I can't even solve a normal Rubik's Cube. Imagine doing something like this.
This is a normal one only.
I can't do the
normal way. Yeah.
The solving. Yeah. Not that brained. I'm very right-brained. I have to come to a little bit financial side of it because people will be very interested in knowing more about this industry. So tell me, how lucrative is it for somebody to become a mentalist today? We don't have formal education around it. We don't have teachers. We don't even have so many people in this industry doing it. So is it if somebody wants to get into it, they like magic, do you think it's something that's sustainable, something that they can do in the long run and be able to make a livelihood out of it?
I think if you're getting into magic or mentalism purely to make money, it's not the best idea, which doesn't mean that it's not well paying or anything. I think I'm pretty happy doing what I'm doing. I'm very happy financially as well. But when you begin, it's not going to kick off in a big way. You have to be okay with the crests and troughs and the ups and downs and all of that. I think over a period of time, what will happen is that you get very, very comfortable in your own skin. You start being a little bit more of yourself, because like any other art form, be it comedy, be it music, could be anything. You're going to do other people's work. You're going to replicate art. You're not going to create your own stuff in the beginning. Over a period of time, you start remixing it to fit your style. You start discovering yourself as a person, as a performer. That authenticity actually connects with people. And then that's when you start gaining traction in this field. And I think that's really important, because people, and I've been doing this for 9 years, I think people are very smart, and they can smell authenticity from a mile away. I think not that would be anybody's intention, but I think it happens over a period of time where you have to actually be okay, discover, learn, and then does it start becoming lucrative and fun for you.
Yeah, I think it takes time.
It takes time
to establish yourself.
Yeah. It takes a lot of conscious driven effort to make it look like it's natural, like it's great. Then there are a lot of other things, like there are some audiences that like a certain kind of magic, a certain kind of effect on mentalism. Then there are certain audiences that want just the basics. They don't care about mentalism. They will never understand it. They just want to see visual, hard-hitting, cool magic.
Right.
So you have to be able to read your audience. So there's many skills. It's not just the art of magic, because if that was the case, I think we'd have many more magicians in India.
Right.
And I guess we don't. And there's enough to go around for everyone, because India is so huge.
Exactly. There's a lot of scope.
So, but yeah, for me, financially, it's been great. When somebody's just starting out, is this the only thing they should rely on? Maybe not.
Okay.
Have a backup and then dabble in both is what I did. So I can only speak to that.
Yeah. But what are the different avenues that a mentalist or a magician can make money in India?
Astrology, numerology.
Okay.
No, there's people who do that as well. But as a mentalist, you do corporate shows where you get hired out by a corporate to do something specific, launch a new product, be a consultant. You do wedding shows, which a lot of people do. I do as well, where we get hired to do an entire wedding, be it a pre-wedding thing, like a pre-wedding function, or then doing something on stage. Then there's obviously private events, and then you do your own gigs, like an open mic, like a speakeasy. So there are two models. One where you are the traveling performer, and the second where you get people to come and watch you. So you establish a property at maybe a place that lends well to the kind of stuff that you want to do, and then there's people who come to you and they watch a show
directly.
So both of these models exist. And then there's this entire idea of the question and answer. Like, say everybody needs an oracle in life, right? Like, for example, like it could be somebody who's into tarot, or somebody who's into astrology, or anything like that. So there are some mentalists, not in India that I know of, but there are some mentalists in the West who've taken this entire concept and tied magic and reading minds to actually answering people's deepest concerns. And to do so ethically, I think is a big challenge. Brings us back to that whole ethical thing. But I think these are a few basic ways in which mentalists can make do. And yeah.
Interesting. For me personally, I've only seen magic tricks in kids' birthday parties where they have because kids get oh my God. But I think the art form has really transitioned over the years. It's become much better. More people are aware. More people are interested in it, which was, I don't think 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it existed.
It was the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at such a...
little larger scale.
Yeah, not at such a larger scale, but yeah. There were people like PC Sarkar and so many other people in the past who would do it and do it so well, and they carried such an awesome legacy that people even today talk about them wherever I go and perform. I mean, elder people.
Yeah, people who have
and I think that's awesome.
Understood. Coming back to your magic tricks, I want to ask you: has a magic trick ever failed in front of like people? That must happen.
It has.
It has.
It has.
What happens then?
You cry. Yeah, no. So it has happened, and then see, the thing about magic is, if you like I said, like if you have a sizable magic library,
Okay.
you have probably studied many things. What can go wrong? What can go differently?
Okay.
Murphy's law, as we say, it exists. So in that case, what you would do is, if something goes south, you know that the audience doesn't know what it's going to look like. So
So you can change it?
So you can tweak it. You can come up with an alternative ending on the spot. I don't have a moment where I'm totally stumped and don't know what to do.
Oh, you don't know what to do next.
I mean, it's been a while. In the beginning, sure, there would have been moments and times when that would have been the case. But now there's always, and I think as a magician, I look at that as like a secret gate, like a secret payoff that you also get.
Right.
And it's a surprise for you as well. so I can't say that I build moments so that they should fail, but if they do fail, I mean, the idea is you don't back down.
Right. You keep going. But also you can, I would assume you would first practice it with people you know, people
Yeah.
that are around
Yeah.
you, so that you've done your trial testing
That's
before,
true.
like a
That's
big
true.
audience.
Yeah.
Understood.
My family, they're my guinea pigs.
I wanted to ask you that there are lots of magicians and mentalists who also then give out the trick. Okay, now I'm very interested in that content also. So
Yeah.
I keep watching,
Yeah.
but because I have to know how did this person do it, and then I'm like, oh my god, I'm so stupid. It was so obvious, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that you feel like that.
Yeah.
But if everybody gives out the secrets and tells you how to do it, then isn't that a problem to the art form?
You're right. It is.
It is.
But then that's driven by two things. One, it's only human rationale to want to be curious. And I think people like us, I'm the same, like you in many ways. I had that curiosity as well, which is why even I wanted to know how it was done, because I couldn't stand not knowing. But then I think what distinguishes the professional from somebody who wants to know, or like somebody who's taking it up professionally, as from somebody who is merely curious about the art form, and curiosity drives us in that way, is that when I get to know how something is done, I want to try that out, even if it's like 1,000 times, tweak it, make it look different, make it look my own, and then see where it goes. And there are many magicians. I don't know if you know this show. There was this show on AXN called Breaking the Magician's Code.
Yes.
Did you know this masked magician who would be there?
I used to watch it.
So
It was interesting.
it was really interesting, and the thing was that there were a lot of magic secrets that were exposed in that show. But I think these kind of things don't limit or curtail. I think they expand also. I'm not for an expose series on magic, but I think that whenever these things come up, there are also a great number of people who actually take to the art form, who actually want to learn it. And in turn, these are the people who end up creating new stuff.
Okay.
So, yes, you're sharing this much with people, but then I don't think creativity or art has any bounds.
Yeah.
So if you have a certain amount of things that are out and people know how to do them, there are always going to be, there are more of them that are going to do those things, and then some, and then create some, and then put out some new effects. So I think in many ways actually pushed magic forward. But at the end of the day, I think like with these shows and stuff, when somebody's just watching something and they know how it's done, you're just flipping through stations, right? It's a dopamine hit in a way. When you're actually taking the time to try something, fail at it again, it succeeds once, you fail at it again, and then you go through that curve, one starts respecting and looking at the art behind it and sees that to be so much more fulfilling than accumulating and knowing how X amount of tricks are done. Like, I think me as a magician right now, the more I'm learning, the more that window of awe is closing. I rarely feel totally floored by something that I don't know how it's done.
Okay.
Because you read so much, this is your field, and then you're also learning. But yeah, I still did see a few things that totally blew me away very recently. But it's very rare that happens.
Yeah, because now you know the tricks.
You know those effects. You know how a trick is done. You know what it looks like, and and yeah, you know the entire psychology, the placements, the little ideas, things here and there.
Do you have mentors in this space?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Like I said, my influences come from the West, so some of them are from the West. Okay. Then you write to them, you correspond with them.
Wow.
Some of them, if they like your work and if they like you as a person, they'll write back, and then you have this ongoing dialogue with them.
Okay.
Where they don't formally mentor you, but
Got
you
it.
can discuss ideas with them.
Oh.
And yeah, I mean, one of my favorite all-time magicians is this guy called Joshua J.
Okay.
And if you ever happen to be in New York, you have to go and see his show.
I should.
He is by far one of the best magicians on the planet.
Yeah, I'm going to check him out.
Yeah.
Tell me about your most memorable performance that you've ever done.
I'm bad at listing things, to be honest.
I've seen some of your Instagram stuff, some shows corporate shows you've done.
Yeah.
It was on celebrities and all you worked with.
Celebrities, I think one of the coolest performances I did for a celebrity was Shubman Gill, because I had a brief moment and I had to tell him what's going to happen before the show. So I told him, hey, I'm going to be asking you this. Are you okay with it? And he was a total sport. He agreed to it. He was okay with it. And then I met him up on stage. Yeah. And he was just so present and so focused. And I think that's rare. But I guess he has a sports background too.
Yeah.
Which is why they are that way.
Was he very surprised?
Yeah, he was. he sweared on stage. So yes, he was surprised. And one knows him not to speak out of turn or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was super cool. There have been other celebrities like Vicky Kaushal, who's also super down to earth, super chill. I once did a show for a couple, and it was just two people.
Okay.
And they wanted to see something, and through the show we told them their entire story on how they met.
Oh wow.
What happened. I think there have been big shows obviously that we've done for thousands of people, but I think this was the one and the only time I've done something that was micro in scale, but it felt like a very meaningful,
intimate,
big and fun thing. And they'd never had that experience. It was their 25th anniversary, and they had nobody else. They just wanted me to be there and to perform for them. I think
that's a cool thing.
I took that as a big compliment, because they let me in on such a personal moment in their lives and wanted me to add to it. So I think that was a lot of fun.
Interesting, right? I never
Small
knew you could
but
do
very
that.
big. As an artist, I appreciated that a lot. And then there have been so many, and but I think that's been something that's very, very unique.
Interesting. I have to ask you, now this is personal. So basically, I am somebody I think everybody knows this, that I'm very expressive. Okay. And I can't really have like a poker face. So also a reason I don't play poker, because if whatever cards come to me will be immediately seen on my face.
3 of hearts, 6 of diamonds, 5 of clubs.
Exactly. So like, you're obviously a mentalist. Imagine like I get good cards, I'll just automatically become happy, right?
Yeah.
Like that just happens with me. So for somebody like
Can I interject too?
Tell me.
Your mother's sitting over there.
Yes.
I want you to think, since you mentioned this, let's try something.
Okay.
I want you to think of a playing card right now.
Card.
Yes. I'm not going to read your mind.
Oh, you're not?
Yeah. Just think of a card.
Fine.
Any card in the deck of cards.
Okay.
Okay, you have a card in mind?
Yeah.
Now imagine have you ever performed a magic trick ever in your life?
Never.
Never?
No.
Okay. Let's have you do this in your imagination.
Okay.
You walk up to your mom. She's sitting right over there.
Huh.
You ask her to pick a card. She grabs a card. That's the card you're thinking of.
No.
Would that be cool? There'll be only one way to bring this full circle and to show you how this works. You see, before we began, and while you weren't around, you had a call or something, I went up to her. I asked her to pick a card from the deck.
No way.
She didn't know which one it was.
Okay.
She turned it the other way around and she put it back inside the deck.
Okay.
Then she shuffled the deck.
Okay.
She put the deck back inside the box and she's kept the box with her. You have the box with you, right? Can you hand it to them? Can you bring us the deck of cards? And when we get that here, and you've never told me, I've never told you,
No.
you never whispered this, you never wrote this
No.
down, nothing. Thank you so much. So for the first time, what's the playing card you're thinking of?
5 spades.
5 of spades.
Yeah.
You remember what I said, right? There's one card in this deck that faces the wrong way. Because she did it. You haven't
way.
shuffled it, right? After that?
No way.
The 5 of spades. So look, we'll do it like this so the camera and everybody else can see this. 52 cards in a deck of cards. I don't know if you can see this. Somewhere in the middle, but there's one card that faces the wrong way.
No way.
Right over there. In fact, you know what? Take that card out
Okay.
and show it to us.
How is it possible, yeah? Bata do. I can't believe
You
it.
have to ask your mom for that.
मम्मी आपने
कैसे
यही
किया,
कार्ड
आंटी?
निकाला था ये कार्ड निकाला था आपने
Yep. She didn't see it. She didn't know.
Oh, she didn't see it.
It was a total fluke.
Oh,
The
my
5 of spades.
God. I just thought of it.
I know. You just did.
Okay, but is it easy? My question was, is it easier to do a trick on somebody like me who is so expressive through like face and hand movements and like eyes and everything?
I think at this point it's not easier or harder. It's fun. It's fun to perform for someone who knows how to have fun. It's fun
Okay.
to perform for somebody who is expressive enough. And because they're the people who aren't going to sit down and question 1,000 things. They're going to be in the moment and enjoy it.
Okay.
It's a whole other thing living as that person, because then that person wants to be curious and Google things, which I'm sure even you did after we met at some point or
Yes.
the other. But yeah, I don't see it as a challenge. I think it's equally challenging in all cases, but I
Okay.
think it's more fun because
Okay.
that equation of an audience and an artist is at its best then.
Right. Interesting.
So yep.
Tell me has there ever been like a favorite person or type of people that you have performed for?
I don't generally perform for kids.
Okay.
I specialize in performing for adults and turning them into kids. But I think performing for kids is a lot of fun because oftentimes they're spot on.
Okay.
Like there'll be parents around and the kids would say, I know how that works. He used 3 cards instead of 1. And the parents were like, no, I held the card and that's not how it worked. But
Okay.
in my mind and in our magicians' way of thinking, we're like, that's a lateral thinker because that person has no concept on where to limit thinking. And in a lot of ways, if we pay attention to how kids react, I think we can become better performers and better people.
Oh, really?
Also, they enjoy things more and they're very in your face about things nowadays, about everything. So I think that's the real test as to if you can perform for them.
Right.
Having said that, obviously, magic that really amazes kids is different, which is why people specialize in those things.
Okay.
But I love performing for my nephews and nieces. I
Okay.
think they're my favorite people to perform for, and yeah, I think it's a lot of fun.
Do people see you and be like, hey, show us some trick?
People as
As in anybody comes up to you,
Yeah.
like meeting you, be like, show us your trick.
Yeah,
And then you happily perform, or you're like, can't do this everywhere all the time.
No, yeah, that's true. So there are times like that, but then if I'm being honest, I'm really okay at any point to
Okay.
show anyone anything.
Yeah.
Because it's not taking much away from me. It's
Yeah.
taking like a few seconds or a minute or two.
Yeah.
But it's like adding, like for me, that's the reason why I became a magician, because I love the look on people's faces when they see something like that. Like if they ask me how I did, obviously I can't share that.
I'm sure
but
everybody must be asking, well, how did you do? That's like natural.
Yeah. But if I tell you, I have to kill you. So we can't do that. So that happens. But no, I've somewhere signed a little covenant code where I'm okay to perform as many times as you ask me.
That's so nice.
I won't get tired.
Great. And okay, tell
I
me.
walk around with matchboxes and decks of cards.
Oh, you do? Like you'll just move around with them?
I'm kidding. No, but yeah, in decks of cards for sure. I mean, they've taken me all around the world, and
Yeah.
obviously I should take them around with me wherever I go.
Interesting. But Chirag, to end this and summarize this, I want to know what is the future of mentalism through your lens in India, and also what you particularly are looking forward to do in this space.
I'm looking forward to.
Do you want to like perform for many people? Do you want to educate more people about this? Do you want to just like surprise people with your performance?
All of them,
Okay.
but in many ways, I want to give people an experience that they've never had before with any other performer, mentalist, magician, or they will never have after. I think that's been my personal thing. And to do it in a way that is totally off the cuff, warm, and friendly.
Okay.
I think that's a high goal, to be content with that definition.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to do bigger things and be grander, but I think that's the common denominator that I want across all my shows, and no matter what I do.
Okay.
So it is that. And I want to also at some point host my own. You remember the two models I was talking to you about, where you travel and then you
Yes.
have people come and watch your show.
Oh.
So I think in the coming years I'm moving towards doing my own shows in a place and having people, like an audience that would generally see me do something elsewhere, come and watch magic at a location of my own and
Okay.
and experience that, because it's totally different and it's so fun in general.
How is it different, as in, if they have
It's
to
different
come?
in the sense you're walking into a space that has been specially designed to give you not just wonder, to give you humor, to give you a feeling of horror, a feeling of suspense, a lot of mystery, a lot of surprise. So you can control a lot of variables if you have the space.
Okay.
And you're not just amazing people, you're giving them so much of their own emotions when they come and watch your show.
Right.
So to really use magic to help better people and yeah, that's
Very interesting. I hope you're able to do, and I hope that mentalism gets more of a space and word of mouth than is right now. Like, I feel like it's still something that people don't speak about a lot. People don't know about a lot. So I hope that changes, and then I hope more people that are doing mentalism and shows and which is happening right now. But I see
it's coming.
It's going to become something bigger. I feel like. So
it's coming.
You're gonna grow with
bringing
that.
It to the world.
But thank you so much for doing
Thank you.
this. Anybody that's listening to this and not watching, I would recommend them to come on the video and see the tricks that Chirag has for us.
Yes. But wait, I'm going to ask you to also do this for us. Think about a childhood friend. Somebody in your life you haven't been in touch with. Or you have a name in mind?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to try this. I'm going to make a little note for you on my phone. And think about it. Don't say it, but just think about it. In fact, I'll try this like this. You just do it over here so it's easily visible.
Okay. My favorite part.
Your favorite part, yes.
Reading minds.
Can you think of all the letters in this person's name?
Name, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And hold out your hand like this.
This one?
Yeah.
Can we record this?
Yeah. And imagine, when was the last time you met this person?
It's been a while.
How long?
Can
you extend your arm further?
Yeah.
How long has it been?
Maybe 7-8 years.
7 or 8 years. Am I right saying this is it's...
Okay,
it's
long
hard,
time.
Right, when you think about it. Is this somebody you met in school? And what happened? You grew apart as friends?
Yes.
Okay. Was this person roughly your height?
Yes.
Brown eyes?
Yes.
Did they have this phase in their life where they colored their hair totally? They went total crazy.
I think so.
You won't remember? Okay. When was the last time you met them? Like the last day. Do you remember where you were when you met them last?
Yes.
What happened?
Should I say?
Yeah.
We were having coffee.
You're having coffee. So let's say we have this cup over here.
Okay.
And I'm this friend in front of you.
Okay.
And cheers.
Okay.
So and then you say this friend's name in your mind. And then you keep saying it again and again and again. To a point where I can hear you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to write down what I think. Close your eyes for a second. I'm going to write down what I think the first letter is over here. I'm going to show this to the camera. Please don't look. Can we see it? Okay. Open your eyes. What's the first letter?
S.
S, something like this.
No way.
And then say the whole name in your mind. Imagine it's almost like it's playing on loop. This constant loop that just has nowhere to end. It's circling round and round in your mind. And you can see the name float around and round like a merry-go-round, and you see it in your mind.
It's not a regular name.
Do not say anything. Okay. I've written down what I think this person's name is.
What? My mom is sitting here. She knows her.
She knows her.
Yeah.
Okay. For the first time, and I've written it down. So I want you to tell me what's the name of your friend.
My friend's name is Srujini.
Srujini what?
Srujini Shravane. No way! Oh my god! How could you have done it?
You see that girl sitting over there? Does she look like... I'm kidding. That would be too...
What? Can you tell a little bit how you did?
I wrote. Little bit only, that is.
Oh my god. No way.
Thank you.
Off camera a little bit?
Yeah, we'll tell you off camera. We'll explain this whole trick to you.
Oh
and
my
then
god, I have to meet Srujini
we'll
and
get
tell
out of
her
a job.
now. No.
Okay, and then also let's try something else. So also think about like a secret about yourself. Like not a secret, but like something embarrassing, small, tiny. Nothing too
Yeah,
personal.
small,
You have something
tiny,
in mind?
embarrassing story.
Okay.
How will you repeat a whole incident?
I'm not going to try and repeat the incident. We'll keep Srujini down here so she can be a part of the show. And then just think about what happened and what this included. Okay. Don't say anything. So I'm seeing you're sitting down and probably there's no shoes on at this point, but then there's a bunch of people around you. Were you at like somebody's house party or something?
No way. No, I wasn't at a house party.
You weren't at a house party, but so that was purely sarcastic then.
What?
That reaction.
No, it's true because...
It's true because it happened around people.
Yeah.
But it was not necessarily a house party, which also means that I hear there's people around you. There's somebody who's whispering something into somebody. Does that make sense to you?
Should I say where it's happening?
Yeah. You can
It
say.
was on a Google Meet call. That's why there were so many people, but not around me.
Okay. Was this during COVID?
Yes.
And it has to do with, I'm not going to say an object. I'm not going to say something that you can hold. It was like something hearsay, something verbal. It was like something with like a meaning behind it.
No, I'm going to go home. I'm
Something
so
with a meaning
shocked.
behind it?
Yes.
And was this about you? Like, did you... Oh, so this is not something that gets to the point where, people... Wait, I'm going to have to catch my own thoughts right now. And
Yeah,
did
because
this
it's
have
a
to do with...
situation.
Does this have to do with the meaning of something that you did not know, but you learned at that time, which would normally be considered weird for people because they thought that you should know this. And what if you just use this in a normal case as like an everyday thing? SMD.
What? Something's happening in my stomach right now. No way. How? What? By my facial expressions, you're telling?
I'm just going by feel at this
By
point.
feel?
Yeah.
But how do you know it was something I didn't know and that's
Was that exactly the
No, I'll tell
the
you what
acronym?
happened. So what happened was I was doing an event, kind of an educational thing on Zoom or Google Meet, one of it in COVID. And my company's name is Social Media Dissect. Okay. And I used to say SMD until everybody in the chat box is like, Aleena, do you know what the full form of SMD is? And I said, no, I don't know. So they were like, you should really Google it in incognito. So when I Googled it and I saw what I'm saying, I realized that, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. I've been screaming and saying my company is called SMD. And then I now address it as Dissect if I want to shorten.
Yeah.
So
Good one, finally.
That was very embarrassing.
No, but it was embarrassing, but it makes more sense now because it was not something that people thought that you will be doing if you finally realized it was something that you were already doing at that point. So that makes sense for me right now. But yeah.
They realized that I don't know what it means.
They realized you don't know what it means.
I didn't know. How did I know?
Yeah,
I was then I corrected myself and now we use only Dissect, guys. We don't use...
Dissect it is everyone. For those of you watching.
Dissect. If you want to shorten social media, Dissect.
Yeah, I am working on a time machine. You want to go back and change that? No.
Time machine. No. Oh my
Okay,
god,
then
but
we leave it as is then.
how can you tell the whole incident?
Just told you a part of it, but yeah, there's more where that comes from.
Okay.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me for this cool podcast and having me share some of my thoughts.
No, I'm so grateful that you did this. And like my expressions are priceless, I know already, in like regular life.
Can we show you one last thing
Okay, please.
before we go? Okay, so we're going to bring the mic away and I'm going to show you something. You said you don't play poker for this reason, right? I mean, the reason that people would be able to say
Yes.
what you're thinking and
Yes.
know all of those things. So I'm going to try something for you. We need both your hands for this, though.
Like this? Or
Perfect, like this. Close together. Perfect. The prasad position. Okay, so generally when I perform, people always say one thing. They say, what you do is nice, but can you come to our place and can you deal for us this Diwali? It's going to start right now. Because, I mean, it's a very cheap request, but we get it all the time as magicians. Because they want to split the profits. So here's what we do. Like, imagine you're not playing poker, but this day, let's say I come over and then I start dealing for you. Irrespective of whether you're right or wrong, you'd win. Because I would give you the best cards in a deck, which are the aces.
Ace, yeah.
So I'm going to shuffle some cards face up and some cards face down. We'll do this in your hand so that you will not only see them, but you'll also feel them getting mixed. And face down. Perfect. You hold on to those just like that. And I'm going to shuffle these cards over here. They're going to go into each other. So you can genuinely see them getting mixed. Yeah. So now obviously some cards are face up and some cards are face down. All the way through, it's a big mess. Now in this condition, Aleena, we'll try and cut you the best cards in a deck. What are the best cards? They're the aces.
Ace.
So here we go. This is using a little bit of sleight of hand. That's ace number 1. You don't look very impressed. That's
No, I'm surprised. Oh god.
The second one.
Okay. I'm watching closely.
You're watching closely, you haven't blinked.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what you're doing.
The third one doesn't happen from the top or the bottom. It comes from the center of the deck. It's called a center deal.
Okay.
Looks like it's coming off the top, but it's actually coming from the middle. So now some are face up, as you can see. And some of them are face down. Some are face up, some are face down all the way through. To get this last one, we're going to do this. You found the first 3 in your hands. We'll get every single card in this deck to turn face up. Would that be cool? But you saw them. We shuffled them like this.
Yeah.
To do this the other way around would look a little something like this. Because you see now, every other card in this deck has gone face up. There's one card that remains face down. You found these 3 in your hands. Take that last one out. Show it to the camera as well so everybody can see it.
Oh my god.
One last time, both your hands
Oh my
hands
God.
close together. Put them right over there. One time somebody said to me, what you do is nice, but can you do this with any deck of cards, or do you need like a special deck of cards to do this? And the truth is, this would actually work with every deck of cards in the world. And by that, and I'll show you and the camera what this looks like, it could really work with every single deck of cards that I've ever performed with in the world. They've all changed, both the fronts and the backs, but you've been holding on to those aces. I never touched them. Turn the aces over. Take a look.
No way. No way, this
And
was
show
in
the
my
camera as well.
hand. Wait. No, God.
Thank you.
Guys, I'm verifying it also for you. It's like, I'm verifying. There are no two.
She's being your hands right now.
This is not two. This is so cool. How fun.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'm looking for the
Blind
spots.
blind spots, yes.
But I can't find them.
They're blind. So as a result.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That
Thank
was
you
fun.
so much for doing this. I had such a great time. Finally had all my questions answered from a mentalist. And I would really like to have you back again. Maybe when we're calling all our guests together,
Yeah.
we want you to perform for them. So that's so cool. Blew my mind. I'm sure everybody watching would also be like, wow, how cool and interesting. And if you want to get in touch with him, please leave us a comment below and I will put you in touch with Chirag. So you can call him and be mind blown. But any other comments you have about the tricks, please leave them also. And I will see you in the next one. Please subscribe.